We got Yakuza Nintendo Switch 2 conspiracy theories, new Switch games announced at PAX West, and some crazy sales that you absolutely want to jump on. So, turn the mug. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Sometimes the mug is just not the right way. I'm left-handed. It's got to be like this. If it's like this, I set myself up for failure. But I'm not going to set you up for failure. I'm going to set you up for success by knowing everything Nintendo. Watch this show every day and you'll be able to school all your friends and everything going on in the wonderful world of Mario and his kingdom. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We're going to kick it off with this Yakuza conspiracy because it's kind of been fascinating. If you recall, Yakuza Kiwami was announced at the end of last Nintendo Double Direct. The partner showcase finished with a bang. Yakuza Kiwami, a pretty old game, is coming to Nintendo Switch later this year. Now, that's kind of cool from a standpoint of like, okay, getting every franchise in the world on Nintendo Switch, but in terms of like a typical like closer, not the greatest. Now, Yakuza Kiwami is confirmed to only be a digital version. This is very interesting. I think my Steam Deck just startled the heck out of me. You could play Yakuza Kiwami on your Steam Deck, but you could play it on Nintendo Switch, and thankfully, they've got a really, really good price. They're going to be placing this thing at $19.99 on the eShop, which is freaking fantastic. I think that is what everybody should do if they're going to bring their games to Switch, their old games to Switch at this point in time. The novelty of portable play has worn off, so getting Yakuza Kiwami on Nintendo Switch on October 24th for $20 is really nice. And it makes that announcement a lot better to me because I worried this was going to be a $60 version. Yes, I know some of you wish you could have a Yakuza cartridge on Switch, but honestly, I would trade no cartridge for a really smart price point and something that Sega should be applauded for. Now, the conspiracy theory comes in because this is being tied to quotes about Yakuza on Switch where they really didn't seem to want it on Switch shortly ago. They were talking about if Yakuza would ever come to Nintendo Switch, and this comes from the head of the development team behind the series, Masayoshi Yokoyama. He said, first of all, whether our games will run on the Switch is probably the first question, and when it comes to the Switch, it's kind of a system for a younger audience. So do we want to put a title where we're going and picking a fight with the world and doing all this Yakuza stuff on a Switch? Now, very, very interesting that that quote was from a little while back, and now it's on Switch. So people have begun to wonder, is this a precursor to something Switch 2? Like, did the Yakuza franchise get a deal for Nintendo Switch 2? And that's why they've agreed to put it on Switch 1. Because you could kind of assume, okay, the Switch 2 is going to be a more powerful console. It should probably house a lot more third-party ports. And thereby, it'll have more mature-rated games. It might be a system that the Yakuza dev team feels is a, quote, better fit for their franchise, which of course is a mature franchise with a lot of different, intense violence, themes, and more. Like a Dragon is a series that will definitely continue, but I tie this now back to a leak from a long time ago and one Nash Weedle, who more and more is popping up as somebody who keeps on getting things interestingly right and presenting a case for being a pretty legitimate leaker. Okay, so this is a post from 2023. This is last September, and Nash Weedle said, a change of direction for the Yakuza series. Despite producer Masayoshi Yokoyama stating that the Yakuza series clashes with the Switch's image in Japan, they will be released for Nintendo's next console. A bundle will be revealed at console launch. Now, you might say like, okay, great, he's predicting, but it didn't happen because we're getting Yakuza Kiwami on Nintendo Switch 1. But wait, look at the picture he shows here. We've got 3 images, which are Yakuza Kiwami 2, Like a Dragon, and Yakuza 0, but not Yakuza Kiwami 1. Now, why the heck would they make a collection without Yakuza Kiwami 1 if Yakuza Kiwami 1 is a critical piece of the story and would cause quite the gap in this bundle of games? Well, maybe it's because Yakuza Kiwami 1 actually is going to release on Switch first, October 24th, and then this trifecta of games, Kiwami 2, Yakuza 0, and Like a Dragon, are going to come out and present a really nice 4-pack on Switch 2 and the eShop in general. Now, maybe Nash Weedle was just picking random images from random Yakuza games. Maybe it's his personal favorites. Maybe this is much ado about nothing, but I find it very interesting that he talked about a change of direction for Yakuza, Yakuza coming to Switch 2, and the 3 games he select coincidentally omit the one that was just announced for Switch 1 and will obviously come out preceding the Switch 2's launch. This might indicate that indeed we are going to be getting a Yakuza bundle at launch that features these 3 games, or maybe even bundles in Kiwami 1 as well. And if this ends up being true, Nash Weedle has his Weedles in lots of different places. He has been able to infiltrate many different Nintendo spheres and has sources that are providing him with plenty of cool information. Mario and Luigi Brothership was a great call out. Obviously, Metroid Dread was a sick call out. And now this Yakuza stuff that might bridge the gap between generations, very, very interesting. Could it just be coincidence? I suppose. Take it with a grain of salt. But I think it's probably very likely, if the Yakuza team has changed direction, we're going to see more of it. There's plenty of Like a Dragon games to put on Switch and an entire franchise history and lore to educate this audience with. And Kiwami 1 is just the start. These other games, I bet, do come soon. Whether Nash Weedle is absolutely the soothsayer Nostradamus on this front, I guess TBD. But he might actually be one of our better new leakers. You don't need leaks, though, to know that Guilty Gear Strive is dropping on Nintendo Switch, a rare PAX announcement for a new Switch game, and I love it. PAX West is going on right now. Boo-hoo, I'm not there. People are playing Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is so crazy, and Mario Party Jamboree, which I'm also jealous of. But at least we got the announcement for everyone back home that Guilty Gear Strive is dropping on Switch with all the characters and content on January 23rd of next year. Now, this looks to be a very nifty package that is going to have rollback netcode, which is fantastic for those of you that want to duke it out online, but it will not have crossplay. So in some ways, this is a perfect storm scenario where you can play against only people that have newly got the game on Switch and not the pros that have played this game for over a year and a half by the time this version drops. It's a nice grab for Switch, getting an Arc System Works title that is a complete package and then justifies the $60 price point coming early next year, and shows that there will continue to be relevant regular releases on Switch even as we're in limbo waiting for the next Switch console. If you guys are excited for Guilty Gear Strive, let me know if you're going to pick it up in the comments down below, and if you think it's something I should cover on the channel when it drops. Now let's cover a sale that is supposedly stupendous. It's the Blockbuster sale for Nintendo Switch, running till September 9th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. This is going to be a bunch of cool third-party games. You can take a look at the full list, but I want to show you guys a few highlights in my opinion. Blasphemous 2 for 50% off. I like it. They just announced their new Stealth Tactics game. That seems pretty sweet, but Blasphemous 2 is a Metroidvania with some like eerie, spooky vibes and Dark Souls tendencies. $15 half off, really quite great. I really, of course, will always continue to shout out Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope for $19.79. That is 67% off its usual retail price. Pentiment is one of those games that we borrowed from Microsoft and put on the Switch. It's $11.99 from its $20 price point. $20 is already a really good deal for this superstar mystery, and now you can experience it for almost half off at $12. Persona 5 Royal is $30, that's half off. This game still holds a lot of value, so $30 is a pretty sweet price on Switch. It never really goes below that on Switch, but it definitely goes above that, so now's a good time to get in. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown Deluxe Edition, including the DLC and the story pack that's coming out later this year, is $30 from $50, which is about 40% off, and that is really a great price for what I think might be the best Metroidvania of all time. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is fantastic. Argue with me if you want, but I think it's really, really a stellar game. Sonic Superstars is half off, and if that's a game you missed last year, then maybe it is a good pickup now for 50% less. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is $3 off. I wish it was like half off. I think that's a pretty fun game. I did make a full video on the channel because I enjoyed the heck out of it. I think it plays better than the mobile version because you have the actual controller and it's nice on the Switch OLED screen. But I wish this was like a $15, $20 package. $26.99 still feels a little high. I personally would wait, and I think it's going to come down in price. There's not as much content there as you might think, and even though it's a fun, good time and has a lot of great turtle characters and voice acting, I would probably just pause until it drops a bit further. Now, Devolver Digital also dropped their own sale, not to be one overtaken by other third-party games. This is an indie sale that features some of the best games on Switch. Inscription is $10. Go buy it. One of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Katana Zero is $9. Go buy it. One of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. You got a lot of other things from Devolver as well. Everything from Downwell to Ape Out. Death's Door is $5 from 20. This is a good one. Death's Door, that is a classic game. Me and Gabe loved the heck out of that when it came out initially. It's a great little like Soulsy type game where you're a crow doing crow stuff. It's got Zelda Souls mixture. Oh, it is just exquisite. I love that game, and $5 is a steal. Basically, everything they put out on Switch is on sale, and most of it is very good, so give it a look if you're interested. That'll do it for today's episode. Let me know your take on the topics we covered in the comments down below. Do you think the Yakuza conspiracy is going to come to fruition? And are you glad that Sega is pricing that thing appropriately at $20? Like, that's a step in the huge right direction that we normally don't get from third-party publishers bringing their classics onto Nintendo Switch's platform. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, SwitchForce out.